elites are manifestly corrupt is a new conservative populism grounded in an old American economic system known to historians as the American system or Hamiltonian economics. Unlike most intellectuals, and indeed, unlike many of the conservative intellectuals who run magazines and enjoy endowed chairs at think tanks, Bannon's ideas have actually translated into real politics. Indeed, no thinker was more important in helping to shape the pro-Trump populist rebellion than Steve Bannon, and no website was more influential in that endeavor than Breitbart.com, which Bannon leads, and which attracts tens of millions of readers. One note on sourcing. When it was needed for the sake of clarity, I attached a footnote to comments Bannon and others made to me during interviews, but often I did not. So any quoted remarks that are not footnoted can be assumed to have been made to me. This, then, is Bannon's story in brief. It is a guide to his principles and ideas, and perhaps a snapshot of America's future if Bannon's populist conservative movement succeeds. Keith Koffler, August 25, 2017. Prologue: The Rebel. The crowds lingered on the Washington Mall, but the Washington political establishment had already drifted back into the Capitol, still in disbelief about the dreadful scene it had just witnessed. Almost no one among the Washington elite, Republican or Democrat, had wanted Donald J. Trump to be President of the United States. They thought he was unworthy of the office, a lout, an ignorant outsider. Barack Obama, regardless of what one thought of his specific policies, was regarded by the political elites as a social and intellectual equal, a card-carrying member of the ruling class, an upholder of the liberal world order to which both political parties adhered. Trump's election had shocked them. So had his inaugural address. Their view of the future was internationalist, based on global agreements and trade. They placed their faith in a prosperity driven by high technology and higher education. Most were liberal on immigration, on multiculturalism, and on social issues. They spoke for the class that took this as an orthodoxy that was beyond questioning or doubt. But Trump spoke for all those millions of people who were not prospering, who saw their jobs being exported overseas, who saw their neighborhoods being surrendered to crime and illegal immigration, and most important of all, who saw their America, its culture, history, and traditions held in contempt by the political and media elite. They saw the America they knew and loved being lost. They foresaw a future of socialism, of official hostility to religion and traditional values, of a balkanized country where the Democrats used identity politics for electoral gain. They feared the American dream might not exist for their children if Hillary Clinton were elected. Unlike the elite, Trump understood these fears, believed they were well-founded, and wanted, apparently sincerely, to take action on behalf of the common American, to make, as he said, America great again, to return power to the people. Today, Trump announced, we are not merely transferring power from one administration to another, or from one party to another, but we are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the American people. For too long, a small group in our nation's capital has reaped the rewards of government while the people have borne the cost. Washington flourished, but the people did not share in its wealth. Politicians prospered, but the jobs left, and the factories closed. The establishment protected itself, but not the citizens of our country. Their victories have not been your victories. Their triumphs have not been your triumphs. And while they celebrated in our nation's capital, there was little to celebrate for struggling families all across our land. January 20th, 2017 will be remembered as the day the people became the rulers of this nation again, Trump declared. The forgotten men and women of our country will be forgotten no longer. As the shell-shocked political elite stumbled back to their chambers.